I've always wondered to myself, is there something that helps the entrepreneurs that succeed that they have, which other entrepreneurs don't? Is it something they know? Is it how they run their businesses? Is it the people they hire? Is it where they went to school? Is it their socialization, their background, their education, their mental spaces? What is it that makes the entrepreneur succeed? Welcome to my masterclasses, where I share with you everything you need to know about how to become a high-growth, high-scale entrepreneur. I'm joined by guests. We break down the myths, the ideas, the myths, the legends, everything you need to know to become a high-growth entrepreneur. Warning, this is the High Performance Zone.
Banks fund cash flows against assets. Okay, so here's how it works. You go to the bank and you say, "Bank, I need R1,000,000. The bank says, "Do you have R1,000,000 in assets to guarantee the loan?" If the answer is yes, the bank asks a second question. If the repayment period of the loan is 12 months or 10 months, say, and your monthly repayment is 110,000, ergo, at the end of 10 months, you would have paid 1.1 million, the bank has made 10% interest profit from it. Do you or can your business generate 110,000 Rand net of operating expenses and tax in free cash flows to pay back the loan? And if the answer is no, even if you have the assets to support the loan, they're going to say no. If you write projections that say you can get the cash flows, if you don't have the assets against which they can secure the loan, they will say no. I'm going to write it on the board so you guys remember this. Is that okay? Yeah. It's so important. That's why entrepreneurs get frustrated by banks. And you go, the bank is not funding me. Guys, banks are not in the business of funding entrepreneurs, unfortunately. That's not the way South African banks work. It's just not. Sure, no, let's get this down. You and I have enough time, don't worry. So there's a line, okay? Here's what I want you to remember. The banks will fund against the assets of your business, yeah? But they will fund for the cash flows you will generate. Guys, this is so important. And assets, they don't look at total, they look at net. So what they will say is your assets net of your liabilities. In effect, your owner's equity, the shareholder's value left in your business. How much is that? We need to spend time. Is it okay if we double click here? So important, because now my head is running, right? So they go, how much net assets do you have? Assets, total, minus all your liabilities. How much net assets do you have? Because against these net assets, there is a value, what we call an NAV, a net asset value. Yeah? This is what the banks looks at. And they go, he's asking for 10 million. But he only has 5 million in net assets. Which means if we gave him 10 million and it failed, and we took his business and sold his assets in what we call a fire sale, we would only get back, at best, 5 of our 10 million. And say, no, we can't do it. Make sense? Yeah. Right. So what you want to do is you want to get to a position where you can create as much assets as possible. That's why what I say to you guys, 999 days, remember? And in that 999 days, you want to live as cheaply as possible, keep your costs as low as possible, spend as little of the business money as possible. If you can eat 1 meal a day and supplement it with water, that's what you do. If you can pay yourself as little as possible, that's what you do. Because in that first 999 days, in the timeline of your business, in that first 3 years, there's only one race, and that race is revenue growth, because revenue growth should equal profit growth. And profit growth creates asset growth. But that's if your profits are retained in the business. Rona, what we do is the minute you start making money, and the money starts coming in, then the bank phones you and says, what car do you drive? What do you drive? You see? Then the bank goes, you know you've got a 1 Series. There's a new Range Rover. It's so nice, you know? And then they send you to Range Rover, and Range Rover, they don't even give you the price. They say, just take the key. And there's some sales guy with the sharp shoe. You know the sharp shoe? You know that shoe. And he gives you and he says, just take it for a spin. And now you can see yourself, oh. This is you now, oh. Well, you go around the block, you come back, you say, I'm taking it. But then what happens is your costs, your living costs go up. So you start taking more money out of the business. So then what happens? Even though there's revenue growth, there's no profit growth. No profit growth, no retained earnings. No retained earnings, no growth in assets. There's such a discipline here, guys. Just put your head down, live like a, just trust me. Live like a pauper. You know, I think the most incredible thing you can do from a discipline perspective is be rich but look poor. And then people look at you and go, hey, you're like, but you don't know, eh? You don't know. Yeah, boy? You understand what I'm saying to you? This is really, really important.